2021 Ski-Doo Expedition Sport 600 EFI Articulating Rear Track. Today, we'll look at this model's articulating rear track. The last 12 inches of the track on this model can be optionally articulated or locked in a flat position. Adjusting from articulating to locked is as easy as pulling a pin, rotating the adjuster, and locking the pin. But reality is much more complicated. In my workshop, the adjustment was easy, but on the trail, where everything was coated with snow and ice, it was quite a battle to get that adjuster rotated and pin locked. I lifted the rear end and dropped it. I fought with the adjuster. I mashed the pin, but it just wouldn't work with me. In the end, I scraped the ice and snow off these components with a flathead screwdriver from my toolbox. Then I was able to lock the adjuster in place. This isn't the kind of thing you'll want to be doing every few kilometers on the trail, or even every few days. Set it the way you like it, and leave it forever. With the adjuster set in the upwards, locked flat skid position, I drove over a bumpy section of unmaintained but well-used trail. Despite the bumps, the rear section of the skid remains arrow straight through the rough trail and track deflection is kept to a minimum. Switching the suspension from locked to articulated mode. Now the last 12 inches of suspension is independently sprung. The difference is subtle, very subtle, far less than I was expecting, but if you look closely, you can see the last foot of skid flexing and conforming, specifically when the sled drops down a dip. The articulation is far less than I was expecting. In terms of rider feel, the difference was far greater than the articulation we were able to capture on camera. With the rear skid locked, the sled had more traction and stronger acceleration while offering a slight ride improvement. With the skid floating or articulated, ride was just a little bit rougher, traction was still very good but not quite as incredible as before, and turning circle was about a foot smaller, presumably due to the smaller track footprint. The big benefit of the articulated rear suspension comes into play when reversing in deep snow. Try as we might, we just couldn't find anything deep enough to make a difference. Maybe next winter. Let's wrap this up with some shots of the track spitting snow.